Another day featuring Uber in the news for yet more bullshit. What up, folks? Once again, it is your boy Tim with another distressing rideshare video. This one is coming from an article titled "Screwed. Uber claws back double pay from drivers after April Fool's Day prank." Now, this is in relation predominantly to Uber Eats drivers. They went out, made their runs, they made their deliveries, collected what they earned, and the next day they were told, you were paid too much, and we're going to take some of that shit back from your account. Now, this is obviously going to illustrate two big problems. One being transparency, the other being customer service. Nevertheless, here is the gist of the article. On April 1st, some Uber Eats drivers received a message that at first glance could have been something that sounded like an April Fool's Day prank. Here is the gist of the message. Rates that were already paid for their rides the previous day were too high, the company said, and the difference was being subtracted from their account. So imagine the next day you have money that you're going to earn from Uber. You've already earned the money, but it's still in your account. And you receive a message from Uber saying, we paid you too much and we've taken back the overpayment from your account. Now, there were drivers posting screenshots. One driver posted a screenshot saying that they took back $75.86 out of his account. Another guy said it was $94. He posted a screenshot of $94.39 taken out of his account. He's actually calling for a damn strike. But the two issues that are at play here, obviously, that should come to mind right away: transparency and customer service. First of all, the biggest problem with drivers, if you receive a message suggesting that they paid you too much and they're going to take some of it back, how the hell do you know if that's accurate? The transparency with Uber and Lyft, by the way, is so pathetic. We don't know from trip to trip how the hell they figure out how much we earn. So if you receive a trip that paid $10 and you have no idea what metrics went into determining that you earned $10, how the hell do you really know if you earned $10 or not? If they text you the next day or email you the next day and say, actually, that trip only paid, $9.15 and we want 85 cents back, how can you even debate with them whether they are correct or not? You don't know the formula. Also, customer service. If they do take money back from your account and you want to reach out to them and complain about it or suggest that the recoup of funds was wrong, you don't even have a certainty that you're going to be there to get in touch with their asses. How good is the customer service in your area? If something happened to my veteran drivers, how certain do you feel that you would be able to get in contact with Uber or Lyft and get a decent response that actually addressed what the hell you're talking about? Now, I understand some areas, I got corrected on a previous video, some areas do have Uber and Lyft hubs in them, but the vast majority of markets in America do not have any building or facility that the drivers can go to. That's only in a handful of markets in this country. The really, really big markets may have one or so, but most Uber and Lyft markets throughout America do not have a single physical facility for people to walk into. So I'm asking my veteran drivers, if something like this happened to you, they took some money out of your account and you were certain that shit was wrong, how confident do you feel that you would actually be able to get in contact with them and get a response that actually addressed what the hell happened to you? Do anybody have phone numbers where you can dial and they actually pick up the phone? I know some folks have suggested that. If you do have a number, toll-free 800 number or something of that sort, please state it in the comments. Could help out newer drivers, prospective drivers, or folks that are having problems and need to get in contact with these people. My experience, I have not tried to contact Uber or Lyft in years. It was horrendous the last time I tried to do it. I got pre-recorded, pre-written responses to what I was stating that had nothing to do with the shit I was asking them. So I want to ask you folks out there, how good is the customer service in your market? But this really should piss off any of us, because You don't know if this could happen to you or not. And I'm about to do another video that shows both Uber, or better yet, Uber had a massive hack where their information, our information, has been compromised by hackers. So that allows potential hackers to contact you, scheme scams, be aware of people contacting you and things like that. But it could also lead to something like this. It could certainly lead to something like this where they could just simply get into the system and pay drivers a hell of a lot of extra money, and then all of a sudden Uber comes up and they're taking the money back from drivers at the time when they can least afford it. This illustrates the absolute necessity that they become more transparent in regards to how we are paid. Because if something like this happens, you need to, as a driver, be able to calculate what the hell you earned and either figure out if they're telling the truth or they're making up some shit just to take money back from you. One of the drivers in this story stated he drove through a blizzard and thought the extra money was because he was out taking trips when no one else was. Next day he finds out he's losing $74 to something he never had any idea was happening. You need to, as a driver, be able to calculate what the hell's going on with your pay, meaning you need all the metrics that they use in determining pay. We don't have that. That is one of the primary issues that folks go on strike discuss. Transparency. You got folks standing next to each other, getting the same damn trip, being offered different amounts of money for the same trip. How the hell does that happen? How can the drivers figure out why person A is being offered money that is different from person B? Because if something like this happens, neither person A or person B has any valid argument to present to Uber as to why they should not have had money subtracted out of their account. Anybody else out there, have you had anything like this happen where the next day Uber or Lyft was threatening to subtract money, or did it? Better yet, they're not going to threaten because they know we'd go and run and withdraw all the damn money out of our accounts right away. Which is why I don't leave money in my account. I withdraw my earnings at the end of every day. Because if they sent me something like this, I don't know if I would continue driving if they all of a sudden popped up and said, we want $90 back from you. Them $2 trips we paid you, you should have made $1.80 per trip. This should piss anybody off. But I want to ask you folks out there, my veteran drivers, have you had anything like this happen to you? Where the next day, the ride-sharing companies were threatening to take money back from you. They called it extra or money you should not have earned. And you're thinking, I barely got paid yesterday. How the hell could you suggest I actually made more money than I deserve? And also, the biggest fear of this is for you folks who drive in areas that have really nice surges. You could drive somewhere where there's a 10, 15 time surge, and Uber or Lyft, just to meet their own personal numbers in that market, could send you a message like this to take some of the money back so that they meet their numbers. We already know from other videos out there that the ride-sharing companies actually lower the base pay when surges are taken on. So let's say you make 90 cents in your market and all of a sudden there's a 3-time surge. Well, you think that you getting 90 cents multiplied by this or that, or you're thinking it's operating on a specific formula that you can calculate. Well, apparently the higher the surge, the lower the 90 cents drops. Have you seen that in your market where your base fare is dropping due to surges? There is zero methods available to calculate on how they are determining what we earn. And that is a huge problem, because anytime they decide they don't want to pay you as much, they could pop up the next day and take some of the money back. Nothing you can do about it. You can't tell them if they're right or wrong. This has to stop. But let me know in the comments if you've seen anything like this, where, maybe even some of the streak bonuses or earnings guarantees, because they can take shit back, you don't know where they may go with this. Do any of you out there trust Uber or Lyft? So you don't know what could happen with them being so lacking on transparency. Let me know in the comments what you've experienced. And as always, subscribe to the damn channel. And I'll see you in the next video.